Hi, this is Eritonity and this new series will mainly point out the workings of the complex parts found in my levels. Starting with Iris. So these meteor bombs are interesting attacks, because they double as lasers. Even the explosive shrapnel are in fact lasers. The explosion itself is simple. Just use a root object and make it the parent of the lasers that come out. As for the meteor, on how they manage to become the trigger of the explosion, it's basically the same thing. Each laser is attached to its own anchor object to determine its rotation, and that said anchor object is attached to the root object. That means, so too is the meteor. Its warning is literally a laser and the meteor is basically following it like a bullet. To sum it up, it's the bomb bullet going in reverse to trigger the explosion. What's fascinating about Traden is that he can transform into different forms. That's because he's not a single triangle, he's made out of 3 triangles, the top, the left and the right. Using position keyframes, these triangles are arranged for him to assume a form, like moving the top triangle upward, to make him look like an arrow, which allows him to zip across the screen like his younger sister. Of course, we can't forget the form, where he spins like a top. So how is this possible? Of course, you can keyframe the scale for the actual spin, but the tilting, rotating using his main rotation anchor object wouldn't work, because Traden's rotation anchor is at the center. So I made another anchor object. It is located at his bottom tip, and is connected between the scale anchor object and body anchor object. Now the tilting works properly. So Traden's suddenly harmless to touch when he's large, and firing lasers from his eye. Speaking of that, his eye is also harmless to touch all throughout. Now what about the rest of his body? As the flash transition to Big Traden plays out, his actual body is scaled down to 0, swapped with a decoration version of it. It is also less saturated to indicate he's at the distance. Once Traden comes back to depth, and is harmful to touch again, his decorative body is swapped back to the normal one. The transition back to the hallway scene was pretty creative. The floor and the ceiling crashing towards Hal for it to phase through and find itself back to the normal hallway. Of course, Hal can't phase to those borders before the animation as they can still harm it. However, just like Big Traden, when the crashing animation plays, the borders are swapped with a thinner one, which means that Hal still must phase through, but the rest after that is a decorative object, so Hal can land safely before the red hallway borders appear again. But wait, wasn't the background red before? And those fake borders would disappear once the animation is done, which means the background shouldn't be black. At the exact moment the animation finishes, the swapped color theme is instantly switched back to the normal one, creating that effect. Remember Terraria's last prism? Yeah, Traden is doing that exact attack. But how is this created? Each laser is connected to, you guessed it, an anchor point. While the laser rotates from outwards to inwards, the point constantly inverts its scale just like Traden spinning like a top. To produce that effect, once the lasers converge, they are replaced with a normal large laser. That's all for this behind the scenes. If I have missed anything, or if you have any more questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them. Okay, bye.